Thought it said that on the
640. There you go. Round board.
Good evening and welcome to a regularly scheduled meeting of the Hartford City Council. All regular and necessary notices were sent. I'd like to call this meeting to order and ask for you to join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, thank you very much. And we have Sam here today. So hello, Sam. Roll call.
The mayor and all alderpersons are present, except for Alderperson Garza, who is absent tonight.
Thank you very much. We have before us a unanimous consent agenda. President Heggie, second by Alderperson Turchi.
Motion by Alderperson Heggie, seconded by Alderperson Turchi, approving the following three items on the unanimous consent agenda. The Common Council minutes of February 28th, 2023. Number two, authorizing appropriate city officials to accept the quote from Lee Recreation for a BCI Burke playground for $50,087 for Homestead Park. And authorizing appropriate city officials to enter into one-year farmland leases at the Hartford Municipal Airport with Larry Schmidt for a 15.41 acre parcel at $1,541 per year. James Borland for a 29 acre parcel at $3,915 per year. And Richard Rohde for a 59.7 acre parcel at $8,059.50 per year.
Thank you very much. Any questions, comments, concerns about the unanimous consent agenda? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you. Communications, Sam.
I just have a reminder that the Mid-Moraine dinner meeting is March 22nd, and I will need RSVPs by Thursday this week, if you'd like to attend.
Thank you. Okay. With that, we have parents and citizen comments. I know that Bob Jewell was going to be discussing the ownership of the Highway 60 electronic sign. He asked for that to be moved to April, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that is struck out. With that, we would have anybody wishing to come forward, just come up to the podium and state your name and address, and we'd be good to go. You get 3 glorious minutes. Ma'am?
1483 Morning Glory Drive. I just want to introduce myself to the council as a candidate for alderperson for the 3rd District. I've had the privilege of working with several of you in the past when I was on the council, and I hope to get to work with all of you in the future. Thank you.
Hi, Kathy. Thanks for coming. Wonderful. Okay, anybody else wishing to appear?
Good evening. I'd like to thank the Common Council for the opportunity to address you and the citizens of Hartford. My name is Brian Balin. I reside at 244 High Street, and I'm running for the soon-to-be open Aldermanic seat in the 2nd District. You may have noticed yard signs going up at supporters' homes around the city, and I wanted to be sure folks could match a face with the name. I was born in Hartford, graduated from HUHS. I've lived here for most of my life. My wife, Mariah, is a teacher at Central Middle School and went through the grade schools and high school here as well. We have 3 children and are raising them in the home that we bought on High Street that we are also in the process of renovating. I am running to make sure that Hartford is and stays a safe, enjoyable, and affordable place to live, work, and play. I work as a senior estimator and a supervisor for a custom home builder and believe my experience in this area can be a real asset as the city moves forward with discussions on building the next generation housing that has been initially presented here, seeing no one currently on the council works in that area. I sincerely look forward to joining you in your continued efforts to make Hartford the best it can be, and ask for your support and your vote if you live in the 2nd District, of course. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, the mayor's report. I report that I'm still vertical, so everything's a wonderful deal. With that aldermanic request, President Heggie.
Okay, first off, I'd like to extend condolences from the council to the family of Darnell Wagner, our former utility director, passed away last week. So then a commentary. The municipal referendum that we have on our upcoming ballot. Washington County currently imposes a 0.5% sales tax throughout the county, and none of these dollars are directly shared with the local municipalities. Municipalities are putting forth a proposal to the county for sharing sales tax revenues. Would you support an agreement where the county would annually share 20% of the revenue with the cities, villages, and towns to apply to local road maintenance and construction? So I'm urging a strong yes vote on that. In effect, 1/10% of sales tax would go to communities for road repairs, maintenance, engineering work, etc. Sales tax is actually generated in the communities. The county doesn't put forth anything to generate sales tax. They only collect it and keep it. We get nothing from it. Yet we provide police protection and all the roadways, everything else that goes with it. Other counties are doing this. Initially, it was Sheboygan County. Fond du Lac County has joined in with it. And there's discussions at the state level to provide funding to all the counties. But with early voting starting on, I believe it's on the 21st, I wanted to make sure that people don't go in to vote and not know what this is all about. We need a yes vote to help provide some funding to, well, roadways have become extremely expensive, and we need every help that we can get. So this does end up being quite a bit of money. In effect, the county collects around $15 million in sales tax. 1/5 of that would come to the municipalities, so that would be $3 million divided up amongst the municipalities. That's and each year that grows. Generally, it grows, unless we'd have a major recession or some such thing. So at any rate, vote for the referendum.
Thank you very much. Is that it?
That's it, yes.
Okay. Alderperson Rusniak.
Have nothing tonight.
Alderperson Carroll.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Alderperson Sikora.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Alderperson Turchi.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Alderperson Webb.
Nothing tonight.
Alderperson Kohler.
Nothing tonight.
Alderperson Fulop.
Welcome, Sam.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, after aldermanic requests, we go to standing committee reports. Chairman Rusniak, Finance and Personnel.
2 items for discussion tonight. Number 1, discussion and consideration of instituting the new wage structure beginning March 20th, 23 for the City of Hartford taxi service drivers. Deb Holton is with us, our transportation superintendent.
Thank you.
Let me start off before she goes on, just to introduce Deb. For those of you who didn't know who Deb was, Deb joined us about 4 months ago as our new superintendent for transportation. She took over a department which was struggling greatly to maintain operations, both in having ample supply of drivers, but also keeping a manager, because we've gone through 4 of them in the last 3 years. So once we got Deb on, we were very excited about having her here because of her past experiences. And we said, all you have to do now is make sure that this is sustainable for the future, for the residents of this community. And so we tasked her with the idea of coming together with a plan on how she was going to do this. And this is stage 1 of that plan.
Thank you. When I arrived, I had opportunity to work with Lisa Alves. She has been a mentor to me, and she was helping me understand how the funding and how things work in a taxi situation. She also introduced me to the present staff, and I soon learned very quickly that the person who had been hired 5 years ago, 7 years ago, 17 years ago is being paid exactly the same as somebody who got hired yesterday. That's $13.73. To me, the value of having an experienced driver was tremendous, especially because I was so new. And so I started looking into the situation of funding and how this whole service exists. And I learned that the funding, it comes through the federal government grants and state grants and local share. And these grants have to be written every year for the needs and expenses of that department and that service. So I started researching and learned that the current salaries for similarities of duties with surrounding businesses that are like us, such as the Washington County Share Ride Taxi Service, they currently hire at $14.48. And after 90 days of safe driving and good attendance, they get a raise. And they continue to get these raises based on their experience and loyalty. And that ranges from $18.52 to $25.20. West Bend Taxi hires at $13.85 and goes to $14.25. Researching this, I also got connected to a company called PayScale out of Seattle, Washington, that goes through the whole nation and finds like businesses and gives you kind of an evaluation of where you at in your scale of pay. And somebody with 17 years of experience can go from $15.85 to $45.26. That's quite a range. And I want you to understand that we actually, at the Hartford Taxi, have an employee that has been at the taxi for 17 years, making $13.73. So I'm very interested in increasing that salary. So the cost of the wages have increased for the 2023 year, starting March 20th and going through the end of the year. That was not calculated for the 23 budget. And the increase that it would take would be $10,208.97. You're asking probably, where is that money going to come from, Deb? Well, we have in existence, prior to my arrival, a fund that's called the Transportation Fund. And that fund has in it $321,419.55. So those funds that would be needed for the 2023 would be covered through that fund balance. For future use or increases in wages, which is a quarter every year for the employee that continues to be in existence and working with us, we would need to continue those wages by asking and applying for these grants with federal, state, and local share. And I would be responsible for writing those grants so that those costs would be covered for the future of the program. Are there any questions?
Deb, we were all very relieved to hear about that $321,000 funding this $10,000 increase, so that was a good start. Questions, comments, Mayor?
Thank you. My question is, what is the hourly rate? I mean, you said how much it would cost, but you didn't state an hourly rate. So we're going from $13 and change to?
So we have a new position that would be established called the lead driver, and that individual would be making $17. So that's an increase of $3.27. The other drivers with experience would start at $14.50, and those coming on would be $14.25.
Okay, thank you very much.
And that should help attract some new
Well, I'm
drivers.
not arguing. I just wanted to know what it was.
Right,
Yep.
but the pay scale was quite low, and this should certainly help. Justin?
Just for clarity's sake, the Finance and Personnel Committee approved this to be retroactive.
To January 1st,
Not-
correct? I was
not
going to
to-
bring that up
okay.
when we got that far. We aren't that far, I guess. Any other questions, comments? To repeat that, it's retroactive to January 1st. So, and it will be funded through fund balance. Okay, any other questions or comments? If not, back to you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Okay, looking for approval for the instituting of a new rate structure beginning March 20th, but now we know retroactive to January 1st for the City of Hartford taxi service drivers. Alderperson Webb, second by Alderperson Fulham.
Motion by Alderperson Webb, seconded by Alderperson Fulop, instituting the new wage structure beginning March 20th, 2023, but retroactive to January 1st for the City of Hartford taxi service drivers.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Thank you. Chairman Rusniak.
Next item, discussion and consideration of authorizing appropriate city officials to accept a quote from Foresight Sports for $36,898 for a Sim-in-a-Box kit golf simulator. Randy?
Can I ask a question, if I may, please, first? Thank you.
Go ahead.
Why didn't this go through the Park and Rec Commission? Why did it come through Finance and Personnel?
It went through Park and Rec Commission.
It went through Park and Rec, but since it wasn't a budgeted item,
Okay.
we wanted to check all our boxes.
Okay, that's, I'm into checking boxes. All right, thanks.
They're doing it the right way.
That's good. I just,
So yes, we have a underutilized facility, room in our facility. It used to be housed by Jazzercise. They left in '21. We've had miscellaneous activities going on in there since. And with new businesses in town, we wanted to make sure we stayed viable. We've seen a drop in some of our memberships since January 1. So this was something unique. It's a booming industry right now. It fits within our umbrella of rec and leisure. So this was something that we had Rec Commission toured our facility in February. We talked about it. With their encouragement, I did my research. Found the top three, what I felt was the top three vendors for this. Settled on Foresight Sports. It's utilized by golf tech businesses here in southeast Wisconsin. Their owner's actually local to Hartford here, so and someone that I know well, so he's willing to help us out with that. As I said, this was not a budgeted item, so this is going to come from our rec fundraising account, which has been built up from our summer fund sales, which is our summer tickets for Milwaukee Zoo, Wisconsin Dells Attractions, Great America. So that's been built up to just under $73,000. It's an account we've never touched. And this account is set up exactly for situations like this, for improvements to the rec center. And what my plan is to take all revenue to replace that $36,000 until we replace it fully. And then as summer rec tickets, the sales are starting to dwindle over the years. It's on a downward trajectory. I propose to have 25% of all future revenue to go into that account from going forward.
Randy, one thing we didn't discuss at our meeting, assuming this gets approved and you make a ton of money off of this, how long will this thing last, the simulator?
The simulator itself, this one's unique because most simulators that you'll see are ground-based. This one will actually be mounted to the ceiling. So as far as maintenance and being in danger, it's less likely. Now, as far as the life of this, I would expect it to last 15 to 20 years.
Wow, super. Questions or comments for Randy? Justin?
You mentioned that 25% of the money after that 30 whatever is paid back. What does the other 75% go to?
Well, that'll be something once it's paid off, and I project probably a year and a half to 2 years. Steve and I will talk. Some areas I'd like to see it go to, obviously to offset some lost revenue for memberships. If we come into the same situation as TaxSafe, staff needs future raises, that's an opportunity for there. So I have not designated what that is, but Steve and I will certainly be talking about that.
You put those two numbers together that he talks about, that's basically offsetting increasing tax revenue. So if we can maintain the tax support of this, the local share tax support of it, this would help offset that.
Sure.
And once it's paid for, you might consider simulator number 2.
Correct. There is enough space in that room for a second simulator. Staff has plans for right now how we're going to designate the other area in that room, bring in a pool table, a TV, perhaps another advertising monitor, things of that nature, just to make it more enjoyable for our golfers.
Okay.
I understand traditional government low bid kind of stuff, but are we getting like a Cadillac, or are we getting like a Kia? Are we gonna actually have a draw from the people that golf that want to use the simulator because it's gonna help their game, or is this just a shiny new toy people are gonna want to play with?
Well, my goal was just to bring something in, I'll use the term simple, for the average golfer, which would be me, to come in that would like to play during the winter. It will have the capability of being able to play on a range to work on your swing. You can just play on a specific hole if you wanted to. It will have bells and whistles if you want to gauge your swing speed and your ball turns. I don't know all the technical golf terms. Maybe Jeff can help me out with that. But
So it does have that capability to look at all your numbers, as one would say?
Correct.
Okay.
I wanted to keep it as simple as possible, as to not have too many hands on the computer system itself.
Joe?
But as we went through and at the rec center, we talked, and we're looking at the space, we're talking about it. One thing we did charge Randy to do is find something that wasn't the Yugo, that wasn't the base model, get something that's a little bit better. I mean, yeah, it's not, we're not paying the Cadillac, but get something that has, that will attract people, not just a base model with, stick figures or something like that. So, so you could go cheaper if we wanted to. But as a committee, we felt felt very strongly about getting at least something in the middle of the road to attract more than just instead of having one, right? We got one, but we don't want one to be used.
Yeah, the research I did, I kept coming back to Foresight. I liked the price range where it was at. I could have gotten something for $12,000, but we would have got something that was worth $12,000. The full swing simulator, that's for $52,000. That is a very nice product, but I felt Foresight was equal to that. So if I could give the community something that I felt gave us the most bang for the buck, we didn't need to spend that $52,000 and settle for the $36,000.
Thank you. Just so you would consider then, if there is a successor, putting in a second simulator, I'd just like to put curling in as a suggestion if they have a curling simulator.
I'd love to put in a bowling alley too.
So I want to see you curl. I'd pay money.
I don't want to see him.
There you go.
Joe?
So this is half of the fund balance, right?
Roughly, yes.
So is this the same fund balance that used if we were going to pay more for the lifeguards? We had some issues last summer as far as maintaining and retaining some of them. This is a separate fund altogether?
Separate account that's never been touched.
Got it, okay.
Any other questions or comments? If not, back to you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Would look for something to move forward our acceptance of the quote by Foresight Sports, $36,898 for a sim-in-a-box golf simulator, and that would be Alderperson Kohler.
I move to approve.
Second by Alderperson Webb.
Motion by Alderperson Kohler, seconded by Alderperson Webb, authorizing appropriate city officials to accept the quote from Foresight Sports for $36,898 for a sim-in-a-box kit golf simulator.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried for adjournment. Can you believe it? Alderperson Fulop, second by Alderperson Webb.
Motion by Alderperson Fulop, seconded by Alderperson Webb for adjournment at 7:26.
For adjournment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. We are adjourned. Thank you.